Okay. And now we're going to move it up. We're going to do it again. 2nd fret. We're going to move it to the 4th fret. And move it to the 5th fret. So with these different shapes and different frets, you can get different sounds by just moving them up and down the neck, and also the way you play them. So, for instance, you can use a strumming technique. And of course, the more musical skills you have, you'll be able to do different things. For instance, you can just focus on the top, the lowest 3 strings. Sorry. And you can also focus on the bottom 5 strings, for instance, the bottom 4 or 5 strings. So I'd like everybody to experiment a little bit with that. And if you want to go further up the neck, but I wanted to just give, I know people are different levels, and there's a beginner, there's people that are more beginners, people that are more advanced. So you can do, you can go as far as you want up the neck, but I suggest for people that are just starting out using this technique, just use the first few frets and go up and down and experiment with the moving the chords and the open strings and see what kind of sounds you get. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Do a little experimentation with that. Anybody have any questions or comments, or want to ask me anything about that?
Am I being heard?
Yes, I can hear you, yes.
It reminds me a little bit of some stuff that Hendrix would do, like the, you know?
I don't mind being compared with Hendrix, that's fine. Yeah, I'm very influenced by a lot of those guitars, so maybe it's sort of seeped in somehow a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share something or play something that they've, and this is also for you to be to trust your musicality, and because you don't have to know theory or you don't have to know theory or scales for this. You can sort of trust your musicality and see where it takes you, and try other frets. I mentioned these particular frets because they sound the most consonant, but if you go on, you try the other frets, they may sound kind of interesting. This is the 6th fret, for instance. That gives a little bit more of a dissonant sound, which you may want for certain clients, in certain situations. But the frets I chose is sort of the more consonant ones, and you're welcome to explore the other frets on the guitar too.
Can I say something else?
Yes.
You're playing basically you're playing a 4th between those two, right?
Yeah, this is the 4th. Yeah.
I hope it's okay to add this, but if you were to play the 5th, the power chord, to expand upon it and use your same positions, you have yet another thing going on for yourself.
Right.
Fun,
That's a great point. Yeah, you can play the 5th too.
It'll be powerful sounding.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
David,
yes.
A couple of people are asking questions. So
Okay.
One is, can you show me how to apply it in a song?
Actually, I sort of created this for mostly just guitar improvisation. I didn't really create this to play within a song necessarily. I mean, it's possible to use it that way, but that's not what I was sort of aiming for at this
Okay.
particular workshop, you know.
Another question, does this work with other chords? And
Yes.
how do power chords relate?
Okay, good question. This is one of the many shapes that I work with, and there's other shapes that resemble chords, and this is all based on this particular scale that I'm using here. There's a lot of chords that are based on E minor, and they can be used with they're mostly based on the C scale, starting with E minor, which is like a Phrygian scale. So, for instance, if you wanted to improvise with somebody, you might use if you want to use a pitched instrument, for instance, you might use the Phrygian, the C scale starting from E to E, and you can improvise. They could, for instance, use those bells. You could play these chords, and matter of fact, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. I'd have to say that if I was going to use a Phrygian scale, I would probably change the frets from the 2nd fret to the 3rd fret, as opposed to the 4th fret, because that's more like the Phrygian note. So it'd be second. So it'd be like the 2nd fret. If you have a pitched instrument such as the resonator bells, you might be able to do something like this. Yeah. That's one example. And if you want to think about how to use this in a clinical situation, for instance, say, for instance, somebody, like, imagine a client comes in with a lot of energy, counting, want to match the energy. Here's an example of how I might improvise with that shape, and try to notice what I've been doing as I'm doing this. I'll try to let you visualize it and see what you can see how you it seems to you. If somebody's coming with a lot of energy, maybe even playing a drum or something, you can use this shape to just So what were some of the things I was doing to create that kind of feel? Does anybody want to maybe give me some feedback about what it was about that, the way I played it, that might connect with somebody that had a lot of energy, and I was trying to match their energy.
Can I jump in?
Yes.
When you're using the guitar, you know, the bass note is E, so you can really explore the resonance and the power of the guitar if that's what you're going for. Of course, you can be subtle too, but you can really, depending upon who you're working with, you can really get the energy and the depth musically.
Good. Okay, so say for instance, anybody else want to share anything?
Yeah, there's a couple on here.
Yeah.
People are typing. Quick changes in strumming to match the energy, ISO principle. Quick chord changes, speed of movement up the frets.
So why don't we have a chance for us to try it? And if anybody wants to share their guitar playing, you're welcome to unmute yourself, one at a time, I guess. Or just maybe give yourself 5 minutes to explore that. And maybe if you have any questions after you try that, you can ask me, Try using it in an energetic way, and then I'll go into some other ways you can use it.
And David, another question for after this.
Yes.
Someone wants to hear about different strum techniques.
Okay, sure.
David, I have a question.
Yes.
I notice on the printout that you have is it the high E string muted? Is that what the X's are?
Yes, I do have, yes, good question. And it doesn't have to be, but I guess that's just the choice I made, just an arbitrary choice. You can actually keep it, you can keep it unmuted if you want. It feels to me a little more consonant without the high E in different positions. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Jeff's phone is raising her hand, but I don't know your name. So you want me to unmute you? Hold on.
Phone.
Okay, you're
Oh,
unmuted.
hi there. I'm Tracy.
Hi.
What's your name?
Hi. No, I didn't actually have a question, although that was an interesting point about the low string not being muted, but the high E string being muted. Is there something specific to that, in the sound spectrum that would make it not sound consonant because they're the same pitch?
Yeah, you're right. It's a good question. I don't know exactly the answer to that. I probably have to analyze each chord and each note and say what. Like for instance, let's say for instance, I'm playing at the 5th fret here, and I'm playing all the strings. Okay. If I play,
Right.
for instance, I'm playing at the 7th fret, and I'm playing all the strings. Somehow that E doesn't sound as good as
Right.
you see what I'm saying? Like this is a low E, and I'm playing all the way down to the 5th, to the string before that. If I add that other E, you see something about it sounds a little bit off to me. So,
Right.
but again, you can always use it.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hear that now. It doesn't seem to blend with the higher pitches as well.
Right.
And it's like it's too close to them when you're up in the.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why, but it's a good question.
Yeah, and it seems like the movement, you can hear it a little more without the extra high E happening. So it just gives more power to that. The movement of the notes.
So the next thing, okay, unless anybody has any other questions about that, the next thing I'd like to go into is a clinical situation where you might want to play something, somebody, for instance, who was agitated or is physical pain, and you may want to help them relax. Okay, so let's take this shape and see what we can do with that. You know, so obviously, again, somebody has some strumming techniques, and that's I'd be happy to talk about that, get into that maybe in a following class possibly, because that's something that would probably take a lot of time to go to specifically dwell on, you know. So I don't know if I want to, I can go into, I can basically say that I think that would be maybe better held up for another time to go into different drumming techniques. But I'd like to show some things that I may be able to show you now, which is that if you, I found this very helpful, this particular method with people that are in pain or need to relax and are anxious, you know. So one way of obviously working with that concept is to find ways of playing it in a slower way, and maybe, for instance, starting with playing with the using your thumb. I would say just try this method using your thumb and playing the first four strings down, or you can go backwards too. And move it up to the fourth fret. See the different sounds you get? So it also depends on what notes you choose to hit. And those are only the bottom, those are only the low notes. I'm just working with low notes. So try that, everybody. Try working with low notes and different patterns, just using your thumb and using different patterns. See, I'm just... Try working on the low strings a little bit and see how that feels. If you want to use a pick, you know, or trying strumming it in a different way, you can even try a slow strum.
So did you say those are for pain?
Yes, I found it very helpful for this particular shape to play a slow, quiet rhythm, mainly on the low strings. But you can also experiment with the higher notes too and see what you get. You know. See, if you just use, what's great about it is it's easy to make new patterns, and new patterns always work well because the strings that are consonants seem to work well in that realm. So, like, for instance, I'm just going down, and I'm going. And anybody have questions? the other thing that I find helpful is I find these shapes very easy, that often elicit, it's very easy to try to vocalize along with them and try to come up with melodies. It's very evocative. To me, it's very evocative. And it's easy to try to improvise vocally with this, you know, and I've done that a lot too. For instance, let's see. I'm just using two shapes here. Evening is coming. Wonder when you'll be around. Will you come and see me? Will you come and see me? Evening is on the road, watching how they fall. Will you come and be? Will you come and see? So if you want to try to experiment a little bit with that and maybe vocalizing it, and if anybody's brave enough to try to share it with us, feel free. Try vocalizing with, maybe just if you're new at this, you know, and just to choose two different shapes, maybe next to each other, and try vocalizing along with it, you know, and see what happens.
I'm going to read some of these questions to you. How have you effectively used this for relaxation? Would the client listen to you play, improvise with you, or what?
Okay. I've used both. I've used patients that sometimes are in bed that are having difficulty. I sometimes use it, and often they fall asleep, and I don't think it's because they're bored, so hopefully. But I noticed that it definitely, people really zone out with this thing. You know, I don't know, something about the droning strings and the strings and what this does seems to really leave people in a special, put people in a special place. And in terms of like using using shapes for improvisation, yeah, I mean, you can use it for, if you play rhythmically, you can use it for people that are, if you give them a percussion instrument, or as we used a pitched instrument before. I guess the thing would be to decide on maybe some shapes, know what notes you're playing, and then give that person those particular notes on resonator bells or something else, you know.
Let's see, there's a couple things on here. People are interested in the future class with strumming. It would be helpful to know what other chord shapes tend to work in the same way.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other shapes, and I'm going to go into probably one other shape for today, but I want to give people a chance to just, I learned from previous workshops that I've done this, is that it's important for people to really practice it before moving on, because then you really won't get it. Okay. So I want to make sure people have enough time to try it out, and if they want some feedback from me, you know, let me know.
Peter is saying that the shape moved across one fret with A as a bass note may work in a similar manner.
With A, you mean tuning low E to A, you mean?
Moving it, go ahead, Peter, you want to get on?
Yeah.
Just move, if you can hear me, just shift across to the treble strings shift the same shape, and with the A in the bass, you have an A add 9, and going up and down the strings, you have a similar approach, but with maybe some, more possibilities. Should I play it?
You want to show me what you're saying? I'm not clear.
Here, can you see my guitar? I don't know how your technology.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the E, right?
Yeah.
So if we just go to the A as if we're playing an A minor chord.
Yeah.
Your first finger, that's an A add 9.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Right. No, that's definitely right.
Yeah, and it's just,
Right.
from the E to the A, that's all. Or
Right. It's definitely one of the shapes I was going to be talking about.
definitely. And it's fun to play.
Right. So, okay, good.
Yeah, and on that one, you've got a major sound you can do. You can do minor as well.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you have that freedom.
You had a good idea. Basically, you can. That was another shape I was going to go into later, but you can do that on the what Peter was saying. I think if I'm correct, is that you take the E minor and just move each finger down one fret, so you have sort of like an A minor without the first finger. Right. Okay. And that you can also use in the same similar way. Now, what's also cool about this is that eventually what you can do is add other things. I don't want to get into it today, but
Can you stand up so we can see?
eventually what you can do, like I'm using the shape that Peter recommended. I'm taking this in the 5th fret here. Just moving it up 2 frets from the 5th fret to the
We
7th.
can't really see that right now. Could you scoot over?
Yeah. So for instance.
Thank you.
And now I'm moving it up here. So I've just used 2 shapes, but I use my other fingers to make the other chord, the other sound, the other notes, the other notes.
Peter says almost sounds pentatonic.
It probably is, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into. So again, you can move that shape around different parts of the. You can even move it down to the next strings down. It gives it a little different sound.
Can't see.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
So I'm just using. And then. Maybe that note is better. Anyway, get some different sound that way. So the other one I'd like to explore a little bit tonight is what I call the relaxation mode, which is the second one I showed you on the sheet there. That's sort of like if you can play, if everybody can play like an F chord at the beginning of the first fret here, and take off your first finger, you have the shape that I'm talking about. And if you move that up to the 12th and 11th fret, you have this shape here, which is more of a, I call it the relaxation mode, because it's, to me, I feel relaxed when I play, and I think other people do too. But and then you can move it down to the 10th fret. You get a different feel, and even play it on the 14th. So let's give people a chance to try that out a little bit, and then we'll talk about what else you can do with that, you know, and the different frets you have, you know. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
David, are
Yeah.
there spots that you're moving to based on a specific scale?
No, I basically, not really. I basically did it based on just using my ear, mostly.
She was asking how did you figure out where to go, so you answered that. Play the relaxation one again, please.
Yeah. I might use finger picking with this one too. Again, for this one, you can also use other fingers too to make it, to add something to it. Let's see. I'll have a chance to try that out.
That is so relaxing and beautiful, says Andy's iPad.
Oh, oh cool. Don't fall asleep with me now. Another thing you can do with this, for instance, is add like another finger on top of the first finger.
People love that.
I'm just taking my first finger and putting it around. I'm not pressing down. I'm just putting it on the, as if I'm playing like a, you know, like a. This would be like this. Well, I don't want to go into that right now, but okay. So you have this, but I'm adding this.
David, a couple of people are saying, Bronwyn is saying that her experimentation doesn't sound that great yet. Do you want to work with her on here for a second?
Yes.
Bronwyn, you up for that?
I did. Okay, sure. I'm just not sure how to figure out where to put those extra fingers. It sounds so beautiful when you do it, and when I do it, they're not going in the best of spots, I guess.
Okay. So let's start with okay, so let's say we'll start with the 12th and 11th fret here. You put your fingers like that, make it sound like that. Yeah, I think that's right. Now take your first one. Can you do that again? You look like you're freezing.
We can't see your guitar.
Okay. I think I hear it. I think that sounds right. And then you take your first finger.
David.
Oh, sorry.
We can't see your guitar.
Okay, so this is the way I'm asking you to play it, and then I want you to add your first finger underneath on the 10th fret, 2nd string. So it's sort of like an F chord without the these 3 fingers. Yeah.
How's it going higher? I'm confused. Sorry. Oh, you're getting your pinky on there.
I'm not using my pinky. I'm just using my first finger.
There?
Yeah, that's move it down to the 10th fret and the same thing. You can use the same pattern for the whole thing. Yeah, move it back up to the 12th fret. And move it down twice, and then twice on the 10th fret. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then eventually. guess the next step might be, you know, the other frets, plus you can add the pinky on the same string as the first finger. Like you can go like this. Pinky. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sounds good now. Yay.
I will mute myself again. Here we go.
Anybody else want to try it?
So we're actually running out of time. So maybe we need to, I'd love to hear some feedback about the idea of having this class, what you got out of it, takeaways. If you feel comfortable unmuting and sharing, that's awesome. If not, you could write in the chat and I'll read them out.
Yeah, I'm Peter. Every time I hear a chord, it makes me think of another chord. And I was just playing that last thing that David was doing. And I was playing it with the bass on the 7th fret with the B. And it reminded me of some of the Joni Mitchell music, which was so open and beautiful sounding.
Oh.
I think it's just a matter of applying it and taking some chances and
Right. Trusting your musicality, yeah.
yeah, and taking what you're kind of what you're offering as a starting point, you know,
Cool.
because there's so many possibilities.
Right, exactly. I think people get caught up in playing the same chords and the same for the first 3 frets, you know, and I've been guilty of that too. So I was struggling to find a way out of the first 3 frets and trying to find a way to improvise
And also using different textures of, you know, you could be, as you were saying before, energetic, dare I say the term aggressive, but you can also be delicate and beautiful, and depending.
Exactly.
Depending on what you're doing and what your goal might be, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff's phone. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm afraid to touch the phone. Oh, hi. Thanks, Deborah. I'm afraid to touch the phone because I'm afraid I might lose you all or something. A couple of things. As David, as you were playing, I was just kind of playing on one shape and seeing how far it could go with your improvisation. And it blended pretty well for the most part. And it made me think that clients who were a little hesitant to pick up the guitar and play it because it seemed so complicated could just start with this E minor shape position and just hold their position. And you could continue to just improvise around it, and you're making really cool music together. And they're just sitting there with their one position, which was really cool.
Right. It's certain clients that have the ability can do this too, you know, to a certain extent, you know. So it's definitely for that purpose too, you know.
Very good.
Yeah, it can get them started.
I find not being
you can unmute me anytime.
Oh, me.
For somebody who is still emerging and probably should think about taking guitar lessons, it's just really exciting to think, you know, how something relatively simple can be used in such a versatile way. And it really makes me think, yeah, I want to just become more skilled at knowing the notes on the fretboard. You know, that's something I'm not great at. But, you know, I've got a pretty good ear, so I think I get by, but I would like to become more skilled in that and knowing exactly what notes I'm playing. And this is also encouraging me, you know, sometimes I'll have somebody who just isn't able to receive the music in a typical way to them. Maybe it's just a bad day, and that this could be really good holding music for them, and just allow them to, you know, be however they are, and just support them with music. So I'm really excited to use these 2 techniques. So thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah, and it's very evocative in terms of, like, again, if you try singing along with them, it's very easy to come up with melodies because I find the the harmonies make it easy to come up with interesting melodies. So try that too. It really works, you know.
All right. I'm going to read some that have been written in here. A second here. Oh, there's quite a few of them. I have to get all the way to the top. This seems so versatile and accessible, not only for me, but for my clients. Another one, I am a new therapist, certified a week ago. Congratulations, Tori. I really enjoyed this approach to improvisation. I've only been playing guitar for a couple of years, and this technique will definitely help my confidence while improving in sessions. The next one, I love how versatile it is and the freedom it brings to playing. I'm a music therapist in Hawaii, so I tried this technique on the ukulele, E minor and D major, and loved it. Also helps me flow between 2 to 3 chords without changing my shape, which will help raise awareness to the other contributing factors of the experience.
Yeah, one of the things is that you don't have to change chords. So especially for beginners and people that are, you know, not comfortable, it makes you can improvise without having to think about where you're going to change your chord to. You just move your fingers around as you're playing and singing.
Right. Yeah. Another one says it will be very useful with clients who play the guitar. Yep. Another one, Andy, do you use the same frets on the Luke? Oh, I think that means uke. Did you use the same frets on the ukulele, Andy? Wherever you may be. Next one, even if you do make a mistake, there's a great opportunity to discuss making mistakes and trusting yourself and others, fear of trying new things, etc., depending on what your client's needs are.
That's a good point, yeah.
Definitely seems more complex than it is, and those with basic guitar techniques could attempt it with success. Next one, very cool. I'm excited to use this. Next one, how many are comfortable with using the capo?
Yeah, the capo also would give another added dimension and, you know, different kind of sounds, different keys. For instance, if you wanted to match somebody's key, you know, and you're playing E minor, you wanted to do like A minor, you put the capo on maybe the 5th fret, and you can play them, do the same kind of shapes, but in moved up the fretboard would match another key, for instance.
Cool. Thinking of a client I have who has dementia and used to play guitar. He loves to play but has lost memory of most chord shapes. I could see using this with him. It's a simple shape to improv around. Next one, what key modality works with the relaxation mode if a client is playing along or to sing along with?
What keys? Sorry, what was that?
What key / modality works with the relaxation mode if a client is playing along or to sing along with?
I don't really think of it that particular key. I'm not sure how to answer that.
Maybe like what fret do you use?
How
would you do that if you were trying to do a relaxation mode with a client to play along or sing along with?
well, basically, I would experiment with different different frets, maybe based on the relaxation mode, and see if they can sing, for instance. Because this is if you know once you know when you're playing, it's helpful too. For instance, this is like a C chord.
Can't see, David. Stand up, please.
Sorry.
Thank you.
This mode, this is like a C chord. G, F. C. So once you know what key they're singing and what key you want to do it in, you can make the shapes. You can modify the shapes based on that, you know, and play them based on the key that you're in. But you have to know a little bit about what you're playing and what the notes are.
Awesome. A lot of good feedback here. Glad you got so much out of it. How many, this is the next question. We're looking at putting together a 5 CMTE class, like an actual class that goes in more in depth and covers aspects that he hasn't covered yet. How many of you would be interested in something like that? Oh, I got a thumbs up over here. Yep, cool. Okay, good to know. So I'm going to post in the chat a link to get your certificate. And when you get your certificate, it will also take you to a place that you can check out the class. And if you sign up today, we're going to offer the Black Friday weekend special. So you'll get save 30% off the listed price, which makes it a $98 instead of $140 for a 5 credit class. Do you want to say anything about the class, David?
Yeah, in the class, I will also go into specific modal playing, like for instance, like Dorian mode, how to use the shapes with Dorian mode, using one finger improvisation too, one finger improvisations. And if people are really interested in specific, guitar techniques like finger picking or strumming techniques, I can also sort of gear it towards the people that are in the workshop. I want to mainly focus on the shape shifting, but I would also like to help people with whatever their, challenges are with the guitar too. So.
Jeff's phone has her hand up again. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to type. Sorry.
Oh. Okay.
I'm messing up.
The other thing that I wanted to say about that is we're limiting it to 9 people. So it'll be small group and he can spend one-on-one time like he did with Bronwyn tonight. So you'll get, whatever questions you have. It's individualized. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Individualized attention. So I want to say thank you to all of you for showing up. Go ahead and I see some people have already filled out the certificate request, so that's good. I'm going to leave this up long enough for you to do that. When you're done, feel free. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, where do I find the link?
In the chat.
I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. That's from you, the link, right? Okay.
I'll put it again.
No, it was my fault. Give me just a second.
If you can't see it, it says thespiegelacademy.com/shape-shift-attendance.
And then we see David's on the page.
Yeah, you'll see David on the page. And you'll get a certificate of attendance so you can turn into CBMT.
I'm not a robot.
Well, if you need one, and if you don't, fill it out anyway, because it'll take you to the next information about the class.
Okay. Let me see if I can find it.
Any other questions, comments before we go?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you all for showing up. Oh, I also have to tell you that we at the Spiegel Academy are having a Black Friday sale all weekend. Tomorrow is actually Cyber Monday. So if you need CMTEs and new ideas and strategies on any number of topics, check it out.
If I may, I'm seeing it's not a. Is it a separate attachment, or am I missing something?
What are you looking at?
It's a certificate of completion that I completed a 15-minute presentation, etc. But I don't see any. Is it a link or just paste, copy, and paste? It's just an image. In other words, put another way, should it be a PDF or something like that?
The certificate or the class? The link to the class?
The certificate.
Oh, the certificate.
Yeah, I'm just getting it as basically content in an email rather than a PDF or anything like that.
Yeah, but can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay, then you could save it as a PDF.
I can?
Yeah.
Let's see how I do that.
See if there's other questions. I haven't been looking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome. Do we print the email as a certificate? Yeah, you could save it as a PDF. Will you be having the 98 class more than once? I don't know that it's going to be $98, but we probably will have the class again. When you go to print it, there should be an option to save as a PDF. It's not opening at all? What's not opening? Okay, see ya, whoever has to go. The link that I posted here, Shayla? This link?
That's not gonna, now that's,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I click on it, it's just like
Yeah.
it doesn't load all the way. I'm not sure.
Sure, that's weird. Maybe type in, go to the spiegelacademy.com/shape-shift-attendance.
Okay.
or you can post it. How about that?
Post it. How would I post it?
Oh, you did post it.
spiegelacademy.com/shape-shift-attendance.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's just not loading because I'm using Zoom and for some reason it just doesn't want to open up another tab. It might be an internet problem. If I'm still having problems, can I let you know or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be because so many of you are in there at the same time or something.
Yeah, weird. I usually don't have problems, but it's just not loading at all.
Okay. Well, let me know.
Whereas I can load another page. Okay,
Yeah,
all
it
right.
might just be that so many people are going to my website right now to do this.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you. See anybody else? Can't get your certificate either.
I'm still here.
Heather, I believe the email is a certificate. No attachment. Yeah. The email is a certificate.
That was the certificate, right?
Yeah, and you just
Oh,
print it.
I copied it and pasted it into a Word document. Now I'm going to save it as a PDF.
Okay.
I tried the coupon code
Yeah.
and it didn't work.
Okay. Let me
Same here.
It said 0 off.
Let me check this out. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Let me fix that. 30%. Okay, try again.
Nope.
Cool. Okay, I saved it as a PDF.
Okay, you got it as a PDF.
Yeah, it doesn't mention. You're saying it's worth one CMT. Yes.
Yes.
Every little bit helps, right?
Yep. And that coupon code, did it work for you this time?
Oh, I didn't go there yet. I can't go there.
Maybe she left already. I don't know who that was.
Hi, I went ahead and purchased it without the coupon code. I guess I should have waited.
Oh, thank you.
Mine's thinking right now.
Yours is working?
Well, it's thinking. My internet is thinking. We'll see if it works.
Is it okay if I jump off at this point?
Yes. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for hosting. This was excellent.
Thank
How do I do this? How do I jump off?
you. Okay. Thank you so
Your
much.
coupon did work.
Leave meeting. Leave
Yay.
meeting.
Yay.
Okay.
Leave meeting.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
So Jeff's phone, I need your name so I can email you.
Oh, me?
Jeff's phone, it says, can you email the link? I got through the link, but nothing happened.
Oh, yep. I'm not Jeff's phone. Okay.
Jeff's phone, I'm unmuting you. What's your, wait, I'm trying to unmute. There, you're free, you're open. You're unmuted.
Did you just unmute me, Deborah?
I did.
Oh, okay. It's Tracy Walker. And I'm typing in the email now to you here.
And what am I emailing you? The link?
The link. I got through the link. Let's see here. I'm messing up. I got through the link and it went through the verify code and that I wasn't a robot and all that, but I didn't see anything in my email yet. And I'm wondering if it worked. So here's my email. I'm texting to you here.
Are you Tracy Jude Walker?
Yes.
Got it. I got it right here. Okay. I'm sending it to you. Well, nice to see you. I knew when you came on that you didn't look like a Jeff.
Or a tech person either. My phone's Windows phone, so
Yeah, mine too.
I'm a little bit behind. I know it wouldn't get the app.
Mine too. I didn't know anyone else beside me with a Windows phone. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So can you do this app on a Windows phone?
No. Probably
Can you do
not.
Zoom?
I can't even get online.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah. Jeff's phone.
So it may take a while because it's.
All right, I sent you the email.
It may take a while. I'll look for it.
Okay, Tori is the last one here. Is there anything else you want to say? Or are you here?
There it is. Got it. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Huh?
I said, nope, I don't have anything. Just thank you.
Okay, thank you for being here. Nice meeting you guys. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Deborah. I just got the email.
Awesome. Bye, Tracy.
Have a good one.
You too.